What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more AFL Evolution 2 news to talk about. This time we've actually got a little bit of an interview where it pretty much discusses about gameplay, improvements, release dates, challenges of developing a game. And now this is actually not a video of a interview. It's actually just, it's written, it's done by a journalist. If you guys want to go read this article, it's actually by Zach Jackson. So hopefully I'll remember to link it in the description down below. But yeah, this is probably one of the biggest articles I've seen in a bit, and yeah, it's gonna take me quite a bit. So if you guys could please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, for some more AFL Evolution 2 content. But yeah, I guess we'll go without further ado, let's actually get started with, the AFL Evolution 2 article. Just being said right now that we've just ticked over into March, and being based in Melbourne, that means that this AFL season is mere weeks away, and nothing else matters until your team is mathematically out of finals contention, which hopefully as a Carlton supporter isn't as early in the season as history suggests. I've been holding out for round 1 for months, and last week's State of Origin All-Star in brackets match further fueled my excitement for the coming season. It goes on to say, but that's not the only footy related thing I'm excited for this year. After hanging up the boots a couple of years ago, the only way I can indulge myself in football glory these days is, let's be honest, Carlton has had more than a few lean years overlay, is by dominating the digital football field in AFL Evolution. This game may have also had its fair share of issues, but it was still an AFL game for current console generations, and one of the AFL games is better than no AFL game. However, AFL Evolution was released in 2017, and much like Bryce Gibbs to Adelaide trade in the same year, it hasn't aged well. I'm actually really liking this interview so far. There's been a couple of jokes here, kind of a couple digs at Carlton. Obviously, Zach Jackson is a bit of a Carlton fan, right? As we can pretty much tell. But yeah, so far, I'm obviously really enjoying this article. But it goes on to say, but in somewhat surprising move, a little under 18 months ago, after AFL Evolution's release, developer Wicked Witch and publisher True Blue Entertainment announced AFL Evolution 2 with a 2019 release window. Unfortunately, due to a number of reasons, including a change of game engines, the game was delayed to late 2019 and then later to 2020, causing much frustration among the passionate fans holding out for this game. But it's now the eve of the 2020 AFL season, and there are no more excuses for the game not to release at some stage during the season. Recently, I was able to speak with Adrian Harrison, AFL Evolution 2's director, in a very candid interview which discussed the challenges that the studio has faced with AFL Evolution 2, the changes of engines, new features, and when footy fans can get their hands on this game. It goes on to say, well played. One of the biggest criticisms surrounding the game developing is the perceived lack of communication and gameplay footage. Is this something you're aware of and looking to address, or is the lack of updates due to some restrictions here and there? Adrian Harrison actually goes on to say, we wish we could do some more in this area. We do have contractual restrictions in this regard, so please understand that it is more frustrating for us than it is for the fans that we can't answer the questions or provide insight into the game developing processes. I really don't know what the restrictions are. I don't know if that's by the AFL or really, what's going on here and there. But he goes on to say, release images or footage have to go through an approval process with both the AFL and our publisher. So I guess, it does make sense. True Blue Entertainment also must have a bit of a, a thing going on with really what they can share for now. But they go on to say as well, we provide requested images or footage, but ultimately we don't handle the day-to-day marketing of the game. We do actively look out for feedback, so even when we aren't speaking, we are listening closely. All that said, regarding early release of footage and features, this is always a tricky balance. We can certainly understand trying to be careful not to talk about things that might end up being significantly different or even cut from the final product due to the time or technical reasons, as this can be interpreted as a promise being broken to fans. In the past, we've publicly shown content that's in development. We've also had backlash from fans over it being unfinished and in progress. While this is a fair criticism, It leads to concerns over the perceived quality of the final game. This is particularly true when it comes to the gameplay footage and its significantly over the course in development. So from the standpoint that we can understand wanting the final product to be judged on its most polished state, which again really makes all of the most sense. So they're going to, pretty much do pretty much like initials now and all that type of stuff, with well played now becoming WP. It's like a shortened version. AH being Andrew Harrison. WP goes on to say what influenced the decision to change engines midway through development and what benefits does Unreal Engine 4 provide. One of the key influences for switching to Unreal Engine 4 is thinking about the future of AFL titles. We're hopeful that as the generation of consoles is released, we'll be ready for them. We can take full advantage of the power of the Unreal Engine to have a real step up in graphical quality from our previous games. Additionally, Unreal's art pipeline allows us to speed up our development time. It also enables us to free up resources to concentrate on areas that fans care about. WP also said, how much involvement does the AFL have in the game's development, whether it's marketing, producing, or design decisions? What is it like working with such a huge organisation? AH goes on to say the AFL has been a great partner to work with. They lend marketing support, handle approval of content, approval of the team lineup and players' ratings, and they have been very involved in testing the gameplay and offering suggestions and recommendations to make the game both true to a real game and fun to play. So that's, it really does make quite a bit of sense, although he did just say it's a little bit of an annoying factor that they do have to go through so much of a process. So, I guess that it's kind of really mixed up here and there as well, but obviously, I do think the AFL, providing financial support is still a very good thing, and hopefully they do even more of it, because I hope the AFL Evolution 2 does succeed, and then, the third game to this, or the follow-up / sequel, can be the biggest and best AFL game that we eventually have, as I feel like this is just a stepstone for the third game, as I think the third game, being on next generation consoles like the Xbox Series X and the PS5, is really going to pass way to the AFL games being the best that they can be. WP goes on to say delaying the game to the end of 2019 well after the season finished didn't make sense to a lot of fans, obviously, myself included. I didn't like that at all. Was a decision to further postpone the game's launch to 2020 simply to align it with the 2020 season, or did the game's scope widen with the new engine? Both of these reasons, fans clearly wanted it during the 2020 season rather than at the end of the 2019, and it also gave us additional time to polish the end product. There are also 2 additional features that we added during this time period that otherwise wouldn't have been included. Wow, that does sound pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited to see what the features are that they have, kind of just announced there. There's more questions and some pictures that they've put on here, really ones that we have all seen before, but it's WP. I know we likely can't get a release date out of you, but can you at least tell us if we're aiming to have the game released before or at the start of the 2020 season? Our goal as developers is to have the game ready as before the start of the 2020 season as possible. The obvious factors including this is dev time, and we're happy to see that we have met our development goals for the start of 2020. Getting the game out at the start of the season is very tight schedule-wise due to the long time from less obvious factors such as licensing approvals, marketing assets production, marketing scheduling for the AFL season, manufacturing time and distribution. Based on manufacturing time, we are already set that it will not be out by round 1. We'll have more news about the release date in the near future. So I kind of like that, and it's kind of what I pretty much expected to eventually see as well. They're going to say, WP, is it fair to say AFL Evolution has a mixed reception? What are the key areas you want to improve on this time around? What's something you're most proud of about AFL Evolution 2? AH, one of the key areas we focus on in this game is the gameplay and AI behavior, which is really good because the last one did not do really that great in that factor. Our goal is to create a game that is both realistically and fun to play. There are elements of the way AFL Evolution 1 is played that we want to keep, areas that we wanted to tweak, and some elements that we have redone completely. The AI and formations have also had a big upgrade for this game. We're excited to see what you think with the new gameplay and looking forward to launch. We're very proud of the scope of the AFL game, AFL Evolution 2 includes the leagues that were added in the DLC for EVO 1 that we're very happy that the players can not just, be in just the AFL, but the AFLW, the VFL, CNFL, Waffle, NEAFL, and Under-18 Champions, Under-18s League, and International, and more. The game's graphical quality is an element we're proud of. This is something we take part in our heart, because part of having the realistic AFL game is having it look, more realistic. This is something we've received from the AFL fans as criticism for AFL Evolution 1, and we focus so much on improving this and your view on AFL Evolution 1 and AFL Evolution 2. Side by side, we're very happy with the clear visual upgrades. Yeah, hopefully we can see that with the new engine and the time they've been working on this game. I definitely do expect to see quite a bit of an improvement, and I'll be pretty disappointed if there isn't one. WP says, one feature I'd like to see, proper training mode similar to FIFA, where players can learn the controls and how to time them correctly. Is this something you've considered adding? This is something we're actively considering adding to the game. Ultimately, we'll decide to allocate the resources to other areas of the game and go in a different direction instead of having extensive text help and video tutorials available in the game. The video tutorials also allow us to put the online, allowing users to be able to, consult them on the phone at any time while playing this game. WP, are you able to confirm whether the 2019 draft class was scanned for the game? Oh, this is pretty big, AH. Yes, they were scanned. We endeavour to get all the players we possibly can get scanned for the game, but players have different amounts of time that is spent on the matching their likeliness. We have multiple categories and determine how much it is time that we spend on getting each player's likeliness as close to the real life as possible. The high end of this year are of this star veteran players that everyone knows and recognises. That is absolutely fantastic, because the face scans in AFL Evolution were pretty bad. I mean, they weren't exactly good. There were a lot of ones that didn't have anything to do with the player. Like, literally, there's some players that had different haircut and colours to what they had in real life. So I very much do like that they have done, even more face scans for the rookies and all that type of stuff. I'm a very big fan of that, and I'm very excited to see how that is all going to go, and just shows you how much work and effort they are putting into this game. But they're going to say, WP, have you determined player ratings for AFL Evolution 2? Yeah. Have you considering partnering up with Champion Data for this part? Player ratings have been determined based on a variety of factors, the largest of which the path from current form. In AFL Evolution 2, an individual player rating will be very based on the position they choose to play in. The skills required for a rucker may vary significantly from those required for a general forward, and their rating in the position will reflect that. The AFL has also been active in monitoring the players' ratings, and we're grateful for their support. We're continuing to examine our options going forward regarding taking data and external sources, which again makes a lot of sense. WP AFL Evolution featured a rather robust set of creation tools. However, Creator Team lacked a little depth. Is this something you fleshed out in AFL Evolution 2? AH, this is a little hard to answer without knowing more specifically on what you're interested in, so I'll just mention some general things. Your team currency numbers and tactics will also be fully customized, and additional features which I'm not allowed to discuss yet add additional options for customizing your teams. WP, while on the topic of deeper features, will AFL Evolution 2 have a deeper career mode, coach mode, expanding on those things like recruiting and list management? This is one I really wanted to know. A lot of people have been wanting a my career type of thing, similar to what they have in like NBA 2K. AH responds with, yes, I can confirm there have been an expansions to coach mode in AFL Evolution 2. Sadly, I can't really go into any more specifics at this stage, but we're excited to see what the fans think of the changes. WP, one of the AFL's greatest appeals in the unique combination of elements, kicking, handballing, marking, etc., is a lot more complex than other popular sports with video games such as soccer. How hard is it to transform the sport of AFL and the variables into a video game? Yes, this is one of the biggest challenges we're making an AFL game. There are very huge arrays of actions that players can take, with the changes variety vastly depending on the situation and context. This means a large number of animations need to be created to cover the various possibilities. It can be also tough to find a good balance between how much direct control and control the player should have on those actions that they can perform. This can be very problematic with finding available controller button combinations to allow more actions. To call out some of those areas will be more problematic compared to other sports. The number of players, the umpires, is much higher than other popular sports, making it tougher to optimize. The shape of the ball leads to its behaviour being quite different compared to standout ramp ball, and additional time has been spent on getting it working just right. A much less obvious issue is that the rules also try to take account of the intent of the player, which you can imagine can be very difficult for the AI to determine. Which again, makes a lot of sense. The AI and the rules for AFL Evolution are, most of you guys know this, were literally bad. You would literally just get the ball and get tackled, and you would get pinned for it. I really hope they do change some stuff like that. It would be very cool to, see them actually do that. But I actually do believe this is the last one. What sort of post-launch support and content are you planning for? Do you guys have any plans for the next-gen consoles and AFL Evolution 2? We're still in discussion with the publisher as what shape post-launch plans will take. They're the best people to ask this question to after the game launches. We're positioned well in, transition to the next gen console development thanks to our usage of Unreal. But we are also interested in the extensive or backwards compatibility of the next generation consoles and how it affects the lifespan of AFL Evolution 2. Now, for those of you who don't know, Xbox One pretty much has backwards compatibility where you can get an Xbox 360 game and put it in Xbox One, while Xbox Series X, the new console that is coming out, will be able to do Xbox 360 and Xbox One games as backwards compatibility. Now, what this pretty much means is, so instead of, them just re-releasing the game onto PS5 and Xbox Series X, you can actually put your Xbox One and PS4 disc of AFL Evolution 2 into your Xbox Series X or PS5. So that's something they've really going to discuss is should they, make a new, should they just relaunch it and do all that type of stuff, or should they just do backwards compatibility? Now, obviously, relaunching it would most likely be a lot more money, as they can still charge the game for quite a bit amount, and people would have to rebuy it. Although, it does mean quite a bit of, time taking place to make it suitable for the next-gen consoles. They're probably going to have to bump up the graphics and do all of that type of stuff. So, it does become a little bit of an issue for the AFL, Evolution team, and really seeing what they're going to be having to do for there. But yeah, again, I'm very interested to see what their decision is going to be, and that decision will most likely come towards the end of 2020. WP says, thank you for your time and good luck with the rest of the game's development. We can't wait to play it. Go Blues. AH said, thanks for the support. We hope you and other fans enjoy the game we spent so long working on. AFL Evolution 2 will release in 2020 on PS4, Xbox One, and a PC. So, a very long article, very interesting article, and yeah, obviously it definitely took me a long time. If you guys are watching this when it does, eventually come out, it's taken me quite a bit of time to record, edit and all of that type of stuff. So it'd be very cool if you guys could leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest AFL Evolution content and all of that type of stuff. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this article? What would you guys like to see changed in AFL Evolution 2? Do you guys think it will be brought onto next-gen consoles with backwards compatibility, or do you guys think they're going to be re-releasing it? And what do you guys think about the DLC that, has been just hinted at now, and really the difficulties on developing an AFL game? I'd definitely really like to know your thoughts and opinions on it all down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlog channel. Links for them are in the description down below. And yeah, also don't forget to check out my podcast as well. Links for that are in the description down below. I talk about NBA and AFL content, all that type of stuff. Again, links for that are in the description down below. So I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.